After last year's disappointing results, the Democratic Party conducted an autopsy, and they promised to make it public last week. We were promised we would see the results of the autopsy. But last Thursday, Ken Martin, the chairman of the DNC, who I like, I do like this guy, he announced the results of that autopsy will not be made public. He said doing so would only serve as a distraction, allowing the media to focus on internal squabbling instead of next year's midterms. Just as well, because the autopsy wasn't a real autopsy. When it was commissioned, the people conducting this examination, this forensics exam, they were forbidden from looking into anything Kamala Harris or Joe Biden did wrong. In other words, we want you to determine the cause of death, but you can't look at the corpses. That's basically what this autopsy was. Leaked excerpts of this phony autopsy suggest the blame falls squarely not on the candidate, but the people working for the candidate, but not the people working directly for the candidate at the tippy top, not David Plouffe or Kamala Harris's brother-in-law, Tony West. No, according to this carefully contrived autopsy intended not to offend the assassins, the problem was at the grassroots level. Field organizers, according to leaked excerpts, were more concerned about quantity, the number of doors being knocked, as opposed to the quality of the doors being knocked on. According to this Democratic Party autopsy, the problem last year wasn't that Kamala Harris surrounded herself with corporatists like her brother-in-law Tony West or David Plouffe. The problem was with the doors. The problem was with the doors that were being knocked on. It seems, according to the autopsy, the problem was the quality of the interactions grassroots organizers had with voters in swing states, not the candidate. Not the message. The candidate and the message, according to the autopsy, were perfect. The problem was with how the people at the bottom of the food chain delivered that perfect message and how they sold their perfect candidate. That's the problem. To put it more concisely, the party that calls itself pro-labor blamed the workers for last year's loss. Management at the top, they had it all under control. It was those damn workers who sabotaged the campaign. Well, this is the problem with rich people being in charge. With rich people, the buck stops here, but only literally. Figuratively, they pass the buck. They blame everyone but themselves. Look over there. Don't blame Kamala Harris, who is actually right now signaling another run for president. Would I vote for her again? In a heartbeat, if that's my only choice, if she's my only choice. But good luck with that. I don't think she's ever won a primary.